Hi, I'm Morgan.
And I'm Jake, and this is
Neverland Navigation Radio.
where we charter a new adventure, unpacking all of the details from Disney's announcement of their newest cruise ship, which
Yeah.
is called
The
the
Disney Destiny. Although I took some notes on the other two that are coming,
Yes.
as well as the new private island.
Ooh, that is all very exciting.
Yes.
We have so much to talk about.
We do. It's a whole new world.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay. Trademark. So this is like another cruise line extravaganza special kind of episode.
Sure.
We're going to be talking all Disney Cruise Line. And whether you're new to Disney Cruise Line, never taken a Disney cruise, or you're a Disney Cruise type of person and that's like a go-to vacation
Platinum
for
member,
you. Yeah, this is a discussion kind of for everybody because there's some exciting new announcements in the world of cruising. Disney cruising.
Yes, super exciting. Three coming out like within a year is, I mean, crazy. Yeah.
It feels
they went so long with nothing new.
Right. A drought. And now a downpour.
Yeah.
We just so recently talked about the announcement of the Disney Treasure, and we kind of did an overview of all the things coming to that.
Yeah.
So we'll do a little bit of that here as well, kind of talking about each announcement and how we feel about it, how excited we are, if it's something that we feel like we would do, or who we would recommend it for, or where it fits into your, itinerary, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But before we dive in, we did want to say hello. Thank you for watching or listening. If you're on a listening platform like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you're listening, not Google Podcasts anymore.
Google Podcasts.
They're going away. R.I.P.
If
you're one of our goodbye. If you're one of our Google listeners.
If you're one of our Google listeners, thank you for switching to something else.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Happy to have you. If you would like to see our smiling faces talking about Disney Cruise Line, you can also join us on our YouTube channel, Neverland Navco. And in addition to subscribing to and reviewing the show on listening platforms, if you're over on the visual version of the show on YouTube, subscribing to the channel and liking the video also really helps us out a lot. That is super important for us, continuing to grow the podcast, continuing to do the podcast, and sharing it with more people. So we appreciate your support, and we thank you for helping us out.
Absolutely. If you are thinking about taking a Disney cruise vacation or any kind of Disney or Universal vacation, please send me an email before you book at neverlandnavigationco@gmail.com, because I can get you the same deal that you could get yourself or better, and you get free trip t-shirts from me from my 5-star Etsy shop. So it's kind of like a win-win. If it's Disney Cruise Line, they would pay me a commission, you don't pay me, and you get, since they're paying me, you get free shirts. So
woo-woo.
Yeah, email me at neverlandnavigationco@gmail.com, and I will exchange contact information and talk about what to do next.
Who doesn't love a free shirt? And it's a custom shirt.
Right, and you're helping a small business. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a win-win for sure.
Yeah.
Once you've booked with a travel agent, you'll never go back.
Right, because why would you? It's cost the exact same, and you always get some sort of kickback and service that you can't. I do deal monitoring and help with like dining reservations and stuff like that. So
yeah, and magical extras like free t-shirts.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Speaking of booking a cruise, it looks like you'll have a new option
in September.
September
is when you can book. The Disney Destiny doesn't come out until November of 2025.
Mm-hmm.
But on September 12th, which is my birthday, is when it is like open. They'll be open for bookings.
Right. And if you're a Castaway Club member, then you can book as early as September 6th. But yeah, general bookings opening on September 12th. That's right around the corner. Right.
And the September 6th is just for Platinum, right? Because I'm a Castaway Gold member, and I think that mine is the 10th.
I don't know. This just says Castaway Club members and select Disney guests.
Got it.
Can book early beginning September 6th. So no.
Gold is definitely September 10th. Silver is September 11th, and then anybody is September 12th. So those are the three that. So, I mean, that tells you, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
This is exciting. This is, I think the format and the theming of this cruise ship are different from anything they've done before. They've gone an interesting route with things, right on in from the Grand Hall all the way throughout the details, throughout the ship, and even choices like what's on the outside of the boat.
Yeah,
All
interesting, right?
yeah, all of it very exciting. The overall theme that Disney announced for the theming of the boat was heroes and villains,
Hmm.
which is funny if you go back and listen to a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
Morgan pitches an entire heroes and villains themed
Theme
theme park.
park. Yep, that
Yeah.
was my idea. So, and then it was like we recorded that podcast, and then this information came out just a few weeks later, and I was like, oh,
Yeah, the second
cool.
I saw that, I was like, oh,
Yeah,
this is Morgan's idea,
yeah.
basically.
The thing that I will say right off the bat is that it's not quite as heroes and villains themed as I had planned for my theme park.
Light theme.
It's lightly here. I mean, it's hero. It's a light theme. It feels like okay. Well, as Disney, you always have heroes and villains.
Of course. In anything. In Marvel,
Mm-hmm.
in Disney, in Star
Yeah.
Wars,
Right.
there's always heroes and villains.
Right.
And also, it's not like the heroes and villains. It was like when Morgan was talking about this idea, it was like, and then at the end, they'll do battle, the
Yeah.
nighttime spectacular.
I am actually hopeful that there will be some show like this.
Right.
And that we just haven't heard about it yet because they didn't actually mention a stage show and there is always something.
That's not true. The Pirates
show. Yeah, you're totally right. And I did think about that. And I was like, okay, they're doing the pirate show again. That's fine. It's become classic at this point. I've done that on every boat. Mm-hmm. It's basically the same. But for example, I did a Marvel Day at Sea cruise. I've done 2 Marvel Day at Sea cruises, and there was a show for that. Mm-hmm. So they do have another night they could work in the show.
Yeah, I would hope that there would be some exciting conclusion.
Maybe not, now that I think about it, because this boat is scheduled to do 4 and 5 night cruises. Mm-hmm. I guess 5 nights might be enough, but not 4, I don't think. Probably if you've got a pirate night, you've got a stage show night, you've got another stage show night, mm-hmm. and then you've got sail away. Yeah. That's like all your nights.
Yeah, so for a 5-day cruise. Maybe.
But I don't think they would do it for one and not the other. Yeah. So we might be out of luck with this. But
maybe it will take place in the entertainment venue that they have specifically constructed for the ship.
But they already announced the shows that will be showing in that entertainment venue, correct?
I don't know if we're talking about the same entertainment venue. Seems like they've got a lot on the.
Well, the Broadway type shows is what I'm talking about.
Oh no! Yeah, they did announce the 2 shows that would be inhabiting that space, but there's also a Marvel themed room where there's like going to be entertainment and storytelling things happening.
Oh, got it. Yes, I bet there will be.
Not the Grand Hall, which is like Wakanda Black Panther themed, but there's going to be another hall. Oh god, I don't see what it's called. But there's gonna be another like event hall that's Marvel themed. That's gonna be specifically for like entertainment and activities, I guess. So
right.
Maybe that they'll do something in there. I am excited though to see what ends up. It's called Saga.
Saga.
Home to musical performances, comedy acts, and game shows. Oh, that's not what I'm.
No, that's going to be like
that's like a little small entertainment venue. Mm-hmm. All right, well here, let's actually go through. And would you like to talk about some of the like theming and some of the things they've announced for this? When I was going through the information, I first of all was taken back by the amount of Marvel stuff.
Shocking.
A ton of Marvel on the cruise ship.
I'm not against this. My family, especially my teenager and my husband, although I'm there too now at this point. I've been
you've seen it
brought in. I've seen them all. Yeah. We really like Marvel. Like I said, we've taken 2 Marvel Day at Sea cruises already. Mm-hmm. So I don't mind it, but I found it surprising, especially the atrium and the fact that. So the atrium statue, that's not what it's called with Disney, but I think that that's the most identifiable name if you're not like a Disney cruise super nerd. Uh-huh. is the atrium statue is going to be the Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
So far it's been Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Ariel, and Cinderella. So all classic old school Disney characters. This feels very. Oh, and then Aladdin is the treasurer, Aladdin and Jasmine.
Right.
Right. So this feels, I mean, yeah, it's just interesting. It's interesting that instead of having classic Disney characters, they've decided to go with
A Marvel character.
a Marvel character.
Yeah.
And a Marvel character that doesn't have to do with the sea at all, if that makes sense. If it had been a Marvel character that had made sense, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like this is just me thinking, right? But I feel like the first statue that they did, which kind of is like their theming, right? I mean, not the icon
Mm-hmm.
was Mickey, and on the magic. He's in like a rain gear outfit,
Right.
right? So that the rain gear outfit kind of, I mean, it's like a something that you might see somebody wearing on a ship,
Right.
a fisherman outfit, maybe.
Mm-hmm. For when it gets stormy.
So
on
that
the
made
seas.
sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one was the Little Mermaid. And you're like, oh, okay, well that makes sense because
She's
we're at
in the
sea.
water, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, we're on this theme.
Mm-hmm.
And then what? The next one was Cinderella, and then I was like, well, I don't know that Cinderella was the next one, but that wound up being one of them. And no, that was the Wish, right?
I don't remember which statue was on this boat. I'm not that.
Oh, then there was Donald, and he was wearing like an outfit that had to do with being a ship captain.
Okay,
right?
That makes sense.
Right. And then
I know Minnie was one.
Then Minnie in like fancy clothes, and then Cinderella. So I think maybe Cinderella was the one that made the least sense first, because Minnie, I feel like, was dressed for formal night, which is a thing on ships.
Mm-hmm.
Although I guess you could argue that Cinderella was also dressed for formal night. Yeah, but so I feel like they started off very sea themed,
yes,
and then went away from it, and now we're at Black Panther, which to me is like just okay, we're not doing this anymore.
Yeah,
and we're not doing classic Disney characters. But I like Marvel, so I think that having Spider-Man on the outside is cool. I feel like there's a big difference in people's minds between Disney characters and Marvel characters, but they're like kind of making it all together as one big happy family. What do you think about that?
I think it's interesting. They also hinted that there would be some like Pixar stuff throughout, particularly in one of the stage shows. They were saying the one that's not Frozen the musical, the one that's specifically for Disney cruise ships.
Well, there is, yeah, for sure, some Pixar, right? And there's Edna a la Mode Sweet Shop,
right,
which is Pixar. There's some of the room decor is either Hercules or Incredibles.
Yeah.
So that's a Pixar and a Disney. So I guess they're trying to integrate everything as like, this is our big happy family, except for there's no Star Wars.
Yeah, which is peculiar. Maybe the next boat that we get will be very Star Wars heavy. Although the only Star Wars that we have in this is one of the kids' clubs is like entirely Star Wars themed.
Okay.
Which I know is not like a major, thing, but I think they're trying to get a little bit of everything in every single boat nowadays, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. To me, this takes away from the theming.
Cargo bay.
I think of, it's hard because now at the parks you're getting a park plus a Star Wars land, or a park plus a Marvel or Avengers campus. You know what I mean? So I see how they're trying to integrate it. But when you're in Adventures campus, it's not like Mickey's walking around. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? You're in that superhero universe. So for them for the way that they're doing this, where it's all kind of meshed together, I wonder how it's going to present in real life. And I cannot wait to get on there and tell you guys how it presents in real life. But in the parks, it's Mickey and friends are over here, and Marvel characters are over here, and Star Wars characters are over here, and they're different lands, not like interacting or not in the same room. You know what I mean? Same area. And even on the Marvel Day at Sea, it's like, let's say you did a 5-day Marvel Day at Sea cruise 4 of those days, it's like mostly just, I mean, it's just Disney characters. And then the Marvel characters came out that one day and kind of like took over the boat.
Yeah.
And at that point, there were a stage show that had Mickey and Minnie and the classic characters dressed as Avengers, and that was crazy cute.
Love it.
Yeah, but since this isn't Marvel themed everywhere, they're just gonna be normal, and I don't know. I feel like worlds are colliding theming wise. That's what I'm a little worried about.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how they will manage that. Only time will tell, I suppose. Um,
It takes away from the theming, don't you think?
I don't know, because I don't know what it looks like yet. You
Yeah.
know,
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's done in a way where when they're doing meet and greets throughout the ships, they come in like a pack and they play the Marvel music, and you go around to who you want to meet, and then
Yeah.
they go away
Yeah.
and they stay a little superhero team, and maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know yet because I don't see, but it seems overwhelming to me to like not. I think there was previously
Overwhelming is what I'm worried about.
yeah.
Yeah.
Previously a little bit more predictability about how the things will interact and where they go and where you go see what.
I'll be very interested to see what restaurant they put in the lobby area, like behind where the Black Panther is.
Mm-hmm.
Will that fit? I mean, I don't think that's where World of Marvel will be based on how the Wish is set up, and this is another Wish class ship.
Right.
So very interesting.
Yeah, layout will definitely be interesting because they haven't released layout yet, have they?
No,
Yeah.
but it's a Wish class ship, so it should be similar.
Right. But what goes where will be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What goes into what slot. So, like we said, we've got Black Panther theming in the Grand Hall with Wakandan architecture that was actually developed in partnership with the set dressers, designers, costume creators from the Black Panther films, which it looks beautiful. Definitely a very warm, naturalistic kind of story going on in the architecture, which is very different from the last boats. The Wish was very ceremonial in the Grand Atrium. It felt like a ballroom. It had all those Cinderella-inspired touches, and the Cinderella chandelier, the Wish chandelier. It was very like formal and the vibes that you expect from a cruise ship atrium.
Classic.
This one is definitely more adventurous and more otherworldly.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
And I feel like that's maybe what they're going for with the theme being the Disney Destiny.
That's what makes me wonder about that third restaurant. We only know about 2 restaurants, right? I didn't miss one.
There's the Pride Lands restaurant, the Worlds of Marvel restaurant, and of course there will be 1923.
Then that's what'll be there.
1923.
Yeah, I would assume based on the fact that that's where that's where that restaurant is in the Wish.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
1923, and it'll be basically the same experience, but with some different movies being focused on like and decor and stuff.
Interesting. Okay.
So we'll see. That seems to me like a reasonable assumption. I also I think the word Destiny, the title of the ship, fits in well with the Black Panther theming because like the destiny to become like king was like part of the story there, so I totally get that. I think Spider-Man is a little bit more of a stretch from Destiny, you know what I mean?
You could use that word for any story, you know what I mean?
Which is I'm sure why it was chosen.
Michael pointed out that word is used famously in the Star Wars franchise, so it's very interesting that like for a lot of people, when they hear the word destiny, they think of that line from Star Wars, and it's very interesting that there's no Star Wars really, except for like you said, there's a kids area, but
which is in the grand scheme of things not that significant,
right? Compared
to like a Star Wars dining experience or something, which is much more, elaborate.
Yeah, and I said to him at that point that I thought when I hear the word destiny in respect with Disney, I think of Brave.
Yeah, there will be a little bit of Brave presence. There's going to be a Merida Cafe. So
yes.
That's great.
Yes, it is great in that they did something. They have a Brave themed cafe.
Yeah.
Yes, and a Meg from Hercules themed cafe. Although I will say, and anybody that's been on the cruise ships will know what I'm talking about. These cafes are so small and
Hmm.
almost insignificant
Yeah.
that it's kind of nothing. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's
Just a
where you
sign that
might
says
go,
Meg's Cafe.
yes, well, there's a little bit of art, but it's subtle.
Yeah.
And it's a small area. I think the last one I'm thinking of had like maybe 8 places where you could sit at this coffee bar type situation, and you could order a latte that you
Yeah.
had to pay for
Hmm.
when everything else in the boat, uh, besides alcohol, is free. So I wonder. I did it a bunch for the coffee art for our
Hmm.
for our,
For
our stuff.
Neverland Navco.
Yeah,
Well, yes.
but yes. Anyway,
Yeah, if you're
those
a
are
huge Meg
small.
fan, you might not be
It's kind of like
super
having a
excited.
bath. It's slightly better than having a bathroom themed after you.
But sometimes that's great.
Yeah.
Sometimes that works out.
Yes.
If you're a Tangled fan, you probably love those bathrooms.
Well, okay, that's a whole nother story though.
Yes, it is. I am saying if you're a Meg fan, don't get too hyped for the cafe.
Yes, exactly.
It's not going to be all that. Although I
Meg is
do.
one of my favorite characters of all time.
Me too. I love Hercules. That's why when it was called the Disney Destiny and I saw there was Hercules themed stuff, I was
Yes.
over the moon.
Oh my god, me too.
I think that's a great like those two things fit perfectly.
Yes.
However, I think the Hercules presence in this cruise ship is super underwhelming.
It's super underwhelming. I am excited for the art in the room because the room is somewhere you go obviously every day.
Yes.
But that is kind of the extent of it. So unless
and Meg's Cafe.
Yeah.
But I will.
But it was like one of the first images we saw when they announced this, and so I was like, yes, finally,
Hercules.
Yeah, and then it was like, well,
hardly
no.
anything.
Here's a piece of art and a
I
coffee
did
shop.
genuinely think the statue might be Hercules.
Yeah, and wouldn't that have been amazing?
Well, yes, I am hyped for the Black Panther aesthetic, though. I think it's beautiful in there. But the choice to do a Marvel character over a Disney character is surprising.
It's surprising.
For the main theme of the ship, that is very surprising to me.
Yes.
So Spider-Man, another surprising thing to me is that Spider-Man is on the filigree of the ship, and he's with the Spider Bots.
Yeah, right.
So the Spider Bots are original characters from the Spider-Man attraction, Web Slingers, in California Adventure.
Yeah.
What?
I know.
Like, why are they on the boat? That's so weird.
Yeah, right.
It's in California Adventure, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is so strange.
It is very strange. I agree.
It's
and Florida's never. I mean, can't say never, but we're not getting that ride because we can't have the rights to Spider-Man in the ride.
We're on the wrong side of the Mississippi.
Yes. So any of the Disney fans that frequent Disney World aren't really even going to know who those guys are.
They don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
So it's a very strange piece of theme park cruise line symmetry.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand why they're promoting California Adventure, or if even that's what they're doing, or they thought that was just a cool way to like weave the universes together. But in my opinion, it is very strange, and it makes me wonder just why they're on the boat.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine why. Although, I guess it is much more interesting than just Spider-Man, because, I mean, now we're talking about what's on the boat.
Yeah, we're having a conversation about it, so maybe that was the purpose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, hey, go to Disney's California Adventure, and when you do, make sure you book with Morgan as your travel agent.
Yeah.
That's not where the Marvel stuff ends, though. Worlds of Marvel will be returning in a new format as a dining experience with a new Guardians of the Galaxy story.
So let me tell you, this is the thing I'm most excited about.
I knew it. I knew
Did
this
you
would
know?
be what you would be
It
most
is
excited
featuring
about.
Rocket, who's like my favorite Marvel character, and Groot, who's a lot of people's favorite Marvel character.
Very popular.
I love Marvel. Like I said earlier, I've been like kind of pulled into it by my family, who is kind of obsessed, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the Marvel stories, I mean the movies, TV shows, or whatever that incorporate a lot of humor are the ones that are near and dear to my heart.
Right.
So I'm a giant fan of Guardians of the Galaxy, Ant-Man. I mean, there's a bunch. I thought the Marvels was really good. It was very funny, but it didn't do well. Anyway, this is the thing I'm most excited for. The World of Marvel, the Worlds of Marvel restaurant that I went on when I went on the Wish was mind-blowing. I thought it was fantastic. The tech they use in there is amazing. And to have it feature my favorite character is just, I'm like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, it is
I
exciting.
can't afford to book another Disney cruise right now, but also the tickets for this, not tickets, these go on sale on my birthday and I'm like, and then there's Rocket and I'm just like,
Right?
oh, I feel like this is meant to be.
I'm super excited to see what it ends up being. I think this is like one of the most exciting. I love what dining is like on the cruise ships right now.
Yeah.
All of these dining venues are so exciting to me. The idea that it's all like dinner theater, and particularly the Marvel ones that utilize, technology as the main kind of show element. I think it's exciting to see what they'll do with the technology.
Yeah. I'm just guessing here, but the other dinner theater kind of show is the one that would excite you the most, right?
Definitely, a
Yeah.
100%. It's called Pride Land's Feast of the Lion King, and to me, what it looks like is if they made Festival of the Lion King, in Disney's Animal Kingdom into like a dinner show
Yeah.
type of experience. And let me tell you what, that
You're
sounds
here for that.
amazing. I
Yeah.
hope the food is as good as Boma in Animal Kingdom Lodge.
They did say it was going to be, unique food. Yeah.
Yes, like African inspired cuisine, which I love.
Hmm.
And then the show will be like a very like a pageant inspired by The Lion King,
Yeah.
which is
And
basically
it's got a full
festival.
story. Yeah.
Yeah, which I love when they like weave all those details into the show. I think the concept art that they released looks incredible. Like the space that they're in has like these paintings all well, they're like painted on designs in the ceiling. Looks amazing. There are some artificial windows, and out the windows you can see the savannah and the trees from the
Right.
Lion King movie.
That's exciting.
There are details all over like the pillars in the restaurant, and everything looks amazing. It looks like they're going to be playing live instruments during the show, which
Yeah.
to me is always a super plus. Something interesting is that I do not see any characters.
I was going to say that I think that this is going to be more of like a Broadway type sitch.
I agree.
But with the way that the Frozen show worked on the Wish, which I know I've said this a bunch, but this is a Wish class ship, so we should expect kind of the same thing, the same things that are on the Wish, but with tweaks to the story and stuff like that.
And you mean Arendelle Dining,
That's
not the Frozen
right.
musical spectacular.
Right.
Yes.
Arendelle Dining. It's not like you're watching Elsa sing, you know what I mean, and going
Right.
through her whole story. It's like it's a little bit of a different story, and there are people playing instruments and singing, but they're not your main characters.
It's in the world of Frozen.
Yes.
This looks like it's in the world of the Festival of the Lion King.
Right, or the Broadway, yeah.
Yes, or the Broadway show, because there are no people in the Lion King.
Right.
So this is all like, looks like an original concept for a show.
Yeah.
Which I love.
With the Arendelle one, you do wind up seeing Olaf come around, so
right.
I'm hopeful that some character,
Timon
I don't know how they would do it, but yeah, I know that they could.
They're going to open up a cloche, and it's going to be Pumbaa on there, and Timon's going to be like, Pumbaa, get out of there!
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it. I hope that's what it is.
Yeah.
But either way, I am super excited for, first of all, to hear the music, but also to see what they do with, like, storytelling in the show.
Yes.
To round out the Marvel stuff on here, let's talk about this. There's a Sanctum lounge. So this is like a Marvel themed lounge with live entertainment, and you can order like crazy alchemy themed cocktails.
Yeah.
It's basically
super fun. I like this. I like Doctor Strange is another one that I like, although there's not humor in it. I just like it.
Yeah, it's definitely got like that mystical, magical wizardry vibe that I think fits well with just Disney stuff in general.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be cool. I would definitely be interested in experiencing this. I would also love to see if they're going to do any interactive kind of effects or anything within here. Because you would think his whole deal is, cool visual stuff. So you might think they would incorporate some kind of portal magic.
Yeah, which they would probably do with a screen, but I could see it being done well.
Yeah, me too. I would be excited to see how the theming goes in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last thing we'll talk about for Marvel on here is that the stuff that we're not going to do. The Iron Man Tower Suite,
Oh, yeah.
which is like crazy.
I
It
mean,
looks amazing.
yeah. If you want to do that, please send me an email.
And please book with one.
Yeah.
The Iron
Very expensive.
Yeah, it's a 2-story, beautiful space inspired by Stark Industries. That looks incredible. And then it's an Avengers themed concierge level on the ship as well. Um, so it's really interesting that they chose. So on the Disney Wish, this was Epcot themed.
Right.
The tower suite. Um, which was Walt Disney's wish for the future, is how they tried to like make that, or was that the treasure? I mean, yeah, the treasure is
Oh,
Epcot.
they're blurring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Epcot. Now,
Because we haven't been to
this
the
is for such
yeah.
a select number of people that even
Yeah.
know about this. It's not really important information, but it is fun to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to me that they chose Iron Man for this because it's Marvel. You know, I know we keep saying I can't believe they put Marvel stuff here and here and here and here,
Right.
but it's the first time,
Mm-hmm.
so it's weird. You
Yeah.
know, although it is cool. It's fun to look at those spaces, not because we're gonna book them or because you're ever necessarily gonna be on them, or maybe you are. Congratulations, send us pictures on the Instagram, please. But it's fun to see what the designers do with them because it's truly like a playground of here's 2 stories, make something opulent and luxurious, themed to Epcot or themed to Iron Man. And I think it's weird they picked Iron Man, but it looks cool.
Yeah.
That's basically all I have to say about those things.
So that wraps up the Marvel part.
That's all the Marvel stuff.
Okay. I'd like to, so far, all really positive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Except for our concern about it being a little mishmashy, but it might not be. We don't know.
Yeah.
I'd like to pop in here in the middle and Oreo my negative, okay?
Please.
And then we can go back to
the Disney gods did not like that. There was a flash of light in the room.
Yeah, we're currently experiencing the outskirts of a tropical storm, so bear with us.
Well, that's just typical Florida summer day for us.
True. Yeah, I would like to sandwich in something I'm a little disappointed about and hope that it changes and then get back to the good stuff. Because
I'm scared.
I'm still going to book it. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. The Disney cruises are flipping amazing, worth every penny. I'm a gold member. I'm sure eventually we'll be platinum. But I am very disappointed that we're not getting any new Broadway.
I have to say I'm with you there. When new ships are announced, the first thing I look at is the shows.
Right.
Because I'm a huge entertainment focused person in most of the vacationing that I do, or most of the trips I take. It's usually to see, some production of something.
Right.
Whatever. So when it comes to the cruise ships and Disney Cruise Line having a reputation for Broadway class entertainment, it is kind of a miss for me that they're doing nothing new, especially when they're, in my opinion, this should have been a Hercules musical.
Yeah, what is happening here? I hate to go negative here. It'll just be a minute because it's just this one thing. But I am really, really disappointed. I've already seen the Frozen Broadway show on a Disney cruise ship twice now, and I've taken a different boat each time we've sailed.
Yeah.
So I don't understand, with all of their source material, with all of their options, why they're doing the same thing over and over again. For me, this show's a big part of it. And I think for everybody, it's part of what you're paying for. Everybody goes and sees the shows. You know what I mean? Like, I would say the percentage of people that don't go see the shows is probably below 5%. It's a huge, huge thing.
Right.
So it feels like you're telling me to watch a rerun. You can watch a rerun. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand what the thought process is here, and it takes away value for me personally. So I hope that this is something that they change in the future.
Yeah. It is a very different industry, but we talk often about how something that we enjoy is when theme parks have attractions that are unique to that theme park, so that there's more incentive to kind of visit everything one day.
Right.
The Disney cruise ships are in a different position. There's a lot more cruise ships than there are theme parks, but there
You
is a
have so
certain
many movies.
right, there is a certain part of you that wants the experience to be as singular as it can be to a certain extent, so that you want to experience one about everything one day,
Right.
so that when you go on the different boats, you have different experiences every time, and you're excited about that. So I understand
Yeah,
why you're
it
so
feels
disappointed.
it feels cheap to me on their part, and I find it disappointing.
I,
And I really hope that it's not, I mean, that's something they could easily change because it's just
a theater,
a theater. You could put, it's not like this, it's not like the theater is themed to work for a Frozen show.
right?
It just, that's the show that they're putting on at the moment. Also, the secondary show, the one that gives you a bunch of different Disney properties in one
Yes,
show, is the same as one I've seen on other
yeah.
cruises. So
Also not new,
yes,
right?
right.
So that is disappointing. I think in a on a Disney cruise ship where there is Hercules theming, in the rooms,
You and
Hercules decor,
right, and you promised us heroes and villains.
and here we are with heroes and villains. It's
Frozen's got the least amount of villain. Like there's no like, oh, don't you love the villain from Frozen? It's like,
Meanwhile, Hades is one of the most iconic
yes,
villains.
yes, exactly.
But also, with a Hercules musical being mounted right now and a Hercules live action remake coming very soon, it seems like there's a lot of upswing in Hercules' popularity
Yeah, it
in
could have been
mainstream
good
culture right
business.
now.
Yeah,
So, in my mind, I was sold that once I saw that there was Hercules stuff on this boat, that we were going to get the Hercules. So, if you're unfamiliar with the history of entertainment on Disney cruise ships, there was something once called Hercules, a musical
yeah,
spectacular, and it was a short show recapping the events of Hercules with the muses as narrators singing throughout the whole thing. And it was really well received and people loved it. It would not meet current production standards of what you would expect on a Disney cruise ship. But I was hoping for something reimagined in that vein, and for it to not only not be Hercules, which is fine, I can handle when things aren't what I hope they are, but when it's just straight repeats from the past cruise ships, that's
right. If
that's
you're copying and pasting stuff, you're taking away people's you know, desire to do it. Because what, I again, everything else on the boat is new and rethemed and different. So even down to the worlds of Marvel, which is like, it's still a Marvel themed restaurant, but it's got different
a
characters and a
new
different
version.
story. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine.
1923. It's the same thing as the previous 1923, but at least the characters are different. There's different decor. They're focusing on different stories. So slight changes are welcome, and for the musicals to be not original at all is boring.
Yeah.
Boring.
Yes. Boring.
Was that the only bad thing you had to say?
That
I
was,
completely agree.
yeah. Yeah, I
I
think
think that's
so.
a very reasonable negative thing.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I like, kind of like what you said. I wish Hercules would have been more put in there because they really got us pumped up with that, putting that picture on there to,
It was the first thing I
first
saw.
thing I saw too, and so I was so pumped up. So that was a bit of a letdown.
Now we are
But
Hercules stands, so we're
yes,
taking it hard.
yes, exactly.
Yeah, we love Hercules.
Um, but this is the only like real negative. Unfortunately for me, it's a big negative.
Mm.
It's like, I don't know. It's enough to make me think twice about booking, although I will. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes,
and maybe that's the problem, but
but
that's not
imagine
usually
a
what they do.
no. Imagine a world where The Lion King is the new theatrical show, and instead one of the dining options is like Hercules themed, and the muses give you like a concert in the world of ancient Greece or whatever, or
Or whatever.
a
I
Hades cabaret.
I
There's a million things you could do.
yes.
A
I just
villain's
want I
cabaret.
just want an original show and dining show for the ones that we get dining show, and not a copy and paste thing. To be honest with you, like, we're going to Disneyland, California
Woo!
in 60 days. It's like
No time.
58 days. And I'm very excited about it, but the stuff that they copied and pasted from Disney World, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think I'm even gonna, I'm not sure I'll even step foot in Batu over there because I have it here.
The differences are so negligible.
Right.
Like exterior paint colors is one of the differences. It's not worth, You know?
taking the time. I mean, we'll probably be there long enough that I will wind up stepping foot in there, and I'm going with my entire family. So, like, if
Me
one of
too.
them want to go there, then we'll go there. But, yeah, I don't really love the copy and paste situation.
Yeah, not when there's on the table you've got stuff that we don't have, you
Right.
know?
And
And
even a movie, if they did a story of a movie that I wasn't a super fan of, I'd still be psyched about it.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I would take a Bluey
Oh,
show over seeing Frozen for the third time, even though I don't have a small child, so I don't watch Bluey because it would be different.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
How about an incredible show?
Oh, but that would be like the best thing ever.
Doesn't even
I
have to
would
be a musical. Could just be
I would just give
the
them my money
score.
right now. I'm like, I know you're not here, but
that
you're,
that would be cool.
yeah. Oh my gosh, I don't know how they do it, but that would be amazing.
No idea, but that's not my job.
Or I mean, you're doing this theming where you're incorporating Marvel. Even a Marvel show would be
Ooh,
different
a
and fun
Marvel
because it's
stage show.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's my frustration with it. That done ranting. It was just I feel like that needed to be said.
Valid.
I'm very hopeful that they will get this kind of feedback from a lot of people and they will make a change.
That would be great. I would love that. I
Yeah.
think honestly part of the reason they picked Frozen was because Frozen is girly, as perceived by Disney, because it's like sister
Yeah, yeah.
themed. And a lot of what's going on here is very Marvel, which Disney is working very hard to expand its appeal to everyone. But a lot of people in like the binary of whatever, like superheroes are boy things.
Yes.
Musicals, Frozen
Right.
is a girl thing.
Yes,
so
but
there's
there are
some
other
balance there.
there I feel like there are other Disney movies that are probably considered girly, like
Girly.
Cinderella or Sleeping Beauty,
Mhm.
right? Princess
Yes,
themed.
princess themes.
Any of those would be fine.
Yeah,
You
sure.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give us an original princesses show if you really feel like you need to
A
balance the Marvel and pirate-ness of it all. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I feel like
Have they announced a Little Mermaid show for Disney Cruise Line yet?
they have done a Little Mermaid show.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It was good.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to talk about some Disney stuff now that we are through this Marvel stuff?
Oh,
Or
sure.
did you have stuff that you were, that you wanted to squeeze in, or that you wanted to discuss for the boat? Or are you okay going by? We got all the Marvel stuff now. Let's do all the Disney stuff.
let's
That's
do
just
that.
how I wrote down the
Sure,
information.
sure.
Okay, so we've already discussed we have Hercules and Incredibles themed staterooms that are coming. That's just the decorations in the rooms. Frozen is returning. So here's something I'm actually super excited about. There's
Me too.
going to be this space that's like a piano bar, a piano lounge themed to Cruella de Vil.
Yes, very cool.
DeVille's Piano Lounge. Oh boy, what a fun concept.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're talking about heroes and villains.
Yes.
One of your
This
iconic
one actually
villains.
fits the theming a little bit better.
Yeah, and the concept art that they released was like black and white spotted walls.
Right. And the piano, I think, was black and white spotted.
Amazing.
There's some red, her signature colors.
Yes, and there's a lot of, since that Cruella movie came out, people are thinking about Cruella more. I think it was a smart pick for what's a more relevant villain. I am peeved that there's no Hades anywhere on this boat, it seems, but hey, I understand. Cruella de Vil is like, I think, universally popular, classic Disney, so I love it.
I think the issue with Hades is how hard he is to do, like, as a costume character, maybe, you think, with the flames?
Yeah, I think it is hard.
Although it's not like Cruella's going to be there. It's just themed after her. So yeah, you're right. Never mind.
Well, no, Cruella de Vil, I think, is probably one of the more popular villains just of all time. You see her in the parks all the time.
Yes.
I'm definitely excited to see this. This seems like where I would want to spend a lot of my time.
Oh yeah, yeah. They'll be doing music. I know they'll do trivia there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That sounds nice.
Another thing I'm excited about, and we'll see how this plays out, is the interactive trivia they're talking about, where villains will interrupt your trivia session. Interesting to see how that. But I can't really picture that. You know what I mean?
Me neither.
What does that mean? We'll see. We'll see. I love trivia. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm picturing a costumed villain character storming in, yelling at everyone, taking points away from people and giving them to other people, providing unfair advantages,
Mm.
asking questions of their own.
See, it might wind up being something that I don't like if it's like if you're being put on the spot or pounded. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
a crowd interaction.
Yes, a crowd interaction, like
Mm.
how I don't like when on in the queue for Rise of the Resistance when the whatever they are,
The Empire
guards,
guards.
something like that,
We
like
love Star
hassle.
Wars. Yeah, yeah.
I do like Star Wars. I just
No,
don't. There's too many names. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
there's a
that.
lot of
That
terminology going on.
yes, this the stories and the world of Star Wars is so big.
Yeah, just like Marvel.
Yeah.
A lot to talk about.
Yes, exactly. Anyway, so yes, I don't really like being bullied by villains.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
I'm excited to see what that is. I think it's cool that they are like paying attention to trivia and like trying to innovate in some
Yeah,
way.
make
That's
it
fun.
different. Yeah.
I love that burst of
Upgrade.
creativity.
Sure.
We are also getting the Haunted Mansion parlor on this boat, though.
So these two things we're about to talk about are my like second favorite, like second things I'm most excited about.
Yeah, this
I'm
Haunted
assuming you're
Mansion.
going from one to the other.
Haunted Mansion.
Well, we'll get there when we get there. Yeah, the Haunted Mansion parlor, which is going to be a bar, is very, very exciting. They are also doing this in the Treasure.
Yeah.
So hopefully, again, it's not a copycat situation. It's different, but we'll see. Did you notice? You didn't notice if the concept art was a copycat, did you?
I think.
You think it is?
Don't be disappointed, but I actually think it is the same.
Okay.
I think it'll be the same experience on both ships.
You know how they'll say they're doing something for the rewritability factor?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're taking away with the copycat stuff. You know what I mean?
I agree. Yeah, I do think this is the same piece of concept art.
This next one is what I meant. Are you going from this to this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, is that the bar? Yes.
Yes. They just don't have concept art. So what Morgan is referring to is there's also this. Well, first let's go through this. The Haunted Mansion parlor is inspired by the attraction, the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland and all the Disney
I'm
parks.
like obsessed when they do something that's inspired off of an attraction.
Yes.
Because I am parks obsessed, obviously. Here we are. But you know what I mean? It's nice to have a break from all of the movie themed stuff and get something parks themed.
Yes. The crossover from theme park to cruise line is I live for that.
I know. It's
love
so
when they do that.
Awesome. Yeah.
Because Imagineering is at work at both, and truly it weaves the universes together in a fun way. The Haunted Mansion parlor is kind of what you would imagine from a Haunted Mansion themed bar. It looks low lit and ominous, doom buggy inspired seating.
Guarantee they'll have the music.
Guarantee they'll have the music, maybe on a piano that is like playing itself.
That would be very cool. That's a good idea.
That's not in the concept art. That's just my brain. Hopefully that would happen. That sounds cool. They also have
my dad was hoping that they'd have the busts in there, but I don't see that they will.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
They also have.
Wouldn't that be cool to have the singing bus just
that
singing
would be
all the time?
really cool.
My gosh.
And they could sing a bunch of Disney songs.
Yeah.
That would be fun. Behind the bar, they've got a mirror, and it looks like they've got the hitchhiking ghosts in the mirror.
Although I bet it does other stuff too, because it's a screen, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then behind that is the classic wallpaper from the attraction as well.
Of course.
So there's a lot to look at in here. There's also portraits on the wall. Maybe they'll animate or change or do something. I look forward to this on both ships just because I love the Haunted Mansion.
Yes, me too. This
is
like homage.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it looks like they have to have some type of effects in here, which is really what I'm looking for in these situations.
And based on the fact that this is probably, although this other one could be also, I'll just say this. On the Disney Wish, they have the Star Wars bar, and it is pretty interactive as far as like the screen behind the bartender and what it can do and how it kind of transports you from one planet to another. So I would imagine, since this is a Wish class ship, that it will be similarly techy.
Yes.
Like you said.
I would hope. I also hope that for the 20,000 Leagues themed bar that's coming to the Treasure.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that's interactive as well. That seems cool.
Yeah, and see that could be in place of this one we're about to talk about.
Yes, Yo-Ho Yo-Ho, A Pirate's Life
At sea.
at sea.
That's funny.
I don't think that's not the actual name of that, is it?
I don't think so. I think they're just being funny.
Cask and Cannon.
Mm.
That might be it. Cask and Cannon. So the write-up here on the website says, inspired by the classic Disney Parks attraction Pirates of the Caribbean, the swashbuckling pub features plundered treasures, rum bottles, jail cell keys, and more. The relaxed atmosphere invites you to catch up on the latest sports, while unwinding over an extensive selection of spirits and brews served straight from the barrel in true pirate style. Interesting that there is no concept art for this.
It is
only one with no concept art.
Yep.
I can imagine what this would look like in my brain, in my mind's eye. Do you want to know my hope for this?
Yes.
Either
so much.
one pirate animatronic or a pirate band with an accordion that like plays sea shanties or something.
Sure, that makes a lot of sense.
That would be great.
Yeah, I love that. If I'm not mistaken, this is ride themed,
Yes.
right? They went out of their way to say that.
Attraction,
correct?
yes.
Yes, I love that. The pirates general theming of things, I love less so. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We've got the pirate fireworks show on all of these ships, and while that was super fun the first time we did it, afterwards it's like I don't.
Maybe not.
Maybe not for me. I'm sure it's great for people with little kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Been there, done that.
Been there, done that. But I am here for anything attraction themed. This could be, tiki room themed. They should totally do that at some point.
Tropical serenades.
Can't believe I just thought of their next bar idea.
That would be great.
Yeah. So I'm super excited for this. I hope they do a great job with some references that are specifically to the attraction, not to general pirate shenanigans.
Mm-hmm. Are you talking about the film adaptations?
No.
Oh, you're talking about like characters dressed as pirates just in general.
Yes.
You're like, whatever. Yeah, I get that.
Well, hear me out to those of you listening that don't live in Florida. We get a lot of pirate generalization.
Isn't this
shenanigans
so funny?
All over the place?
You know
I'll go to the grocery store sometimes and they've got like a pirate, like
our football team is pirates. I mean,
Yeah.
they're the Buccaneers, but they're pirates.
Yeah.
We have Gasparilla, our main event here, which is pirate themed.
And is huge. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You'll go into a restaurant, it'll be, randomly pirate. I'm just.
You know who else was having
I
this
guess I'm over
conversation? Imagineers in the late 60s. Because remember, that's why they
Yeah.
didn't build pirates here.
They were like,
at first.
Floridians don't care about pirates.
They've already got pirates.
Yeah, well, okay. But I love the attraction.
I
do love
funny.
the ride.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yes, you're right. This is probably the same conversation they were having. And if you didn't catch that episode, I don't remember what it was called, but Jake talked about how that was yours, right? Now I can't even remember.
It might have just been something that came up in conversation.
I think it was a pirate research topic.
Oh, okay. Well, if it is, then it would be the Adventureland themed podcast episode.
Yeah.
I think it's actually called Tales from Adventureland or something like that.
Wow, look at you. You're on all remembering this stuff. We've been doing this for like 2 years, so my brain is all mushed.
I know, right? We've done quite a few. I am excited for, at the very least, to sing the Pirates theme song with people holding the mugs.
I always feel bad for the bartenders in places that play the same song over and over again, but you know that's going to happen here.
I know. Yeah, they're gonna be very familiar with the pirate song.
Yeah.
All right. The last thing I have on here to talk about that is new Disney themed is the Aquamouse, which is the water slide coaster thing. That is on all Disney cruise ships. Called different things and in different forms.
Right.
This is the most. This one is going to have an original song and an original story about Disney villains.
Right. So on the Wish, there was an original song and original story, but it was about Mickey and Minnie. So this is supposed to have more of that heroes and villains type vibe to it. I saw what's his face, Trinabog.
Chernabog, yes.
As like their poster villain. on this, so that's interesting.
Yeah, that is
Do you
interesting.
love that?
I do love that.
Yeah.
You were right. 1923 will be located behind the Grand Hall.
Yeah.
I'm just now seeing that there
Oh,
is a
there
layout.
is. Oh, yeah, yeah, cool. So,
Ooh, Haunted Mansion and DeVille's, the Cruella DeVille themed
mm,
bar, are going to be side by side.
okay.
Interesting.
So the Haunted Mansion parlor is, I believe, where the Star Wars bar is on the Disney Wish.
Hmm.
Do you see where the pirates?
Let's look for it.
Yeah, interesting. Oh, look at that. Uh, Jake's looking at the map right now. That's very cool that they've got that out. Um, so I don't know if yes, I did say this already. So this is doing 4 and 5 night cruises. So far with the Wish series that we've got in sailing out of Florida, we've got the Wish that's doing 3 nights. This one's going to do 4 and 5. And the Treasure is doing 7. So that's nice.
That is
If
nice.
you need to have your vacation be short or you want a long, you've got some options there. Um,
Here it is, somewhere completely different. We're on deck plan 5.
okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to think what's there in the Wish, but I can't really think of it. That's okay.
It'll be located across from Cafe Merida. Just kidding. Um, what is the Triton Lounge? Did they ever talk about that?
No.
Oh, it's a karaoke and mocktail inspired lounge.
Hmm.
Um, I think they might have this on other boats. Maybe the Treasure.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's
It's
just
been a while since we
small
and
karaoke bar.
yeah, so it's probably been about a year since we reported on the Treasure. And
Yeah.
obviously it's not even sailing yet, so that was the end of our kind of information we got. The Treasure just had its float out.
Hmm.
So it's almost done. It starts sailing in November.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It seemed like forever away back then.
Right.
And here we are.
And then
Now we're talking about a new boat.
the other one that is going to be coming out in 2025 is the Adventure, and that will be sailing out of Singapore.
Hmm.
So a little harder for us to get to. I think it might be a while before I can make it to that one. I also don't feel like we're getting as much information on that one.
I don't know anything about it yet.
Yes, I can tell you what I know about it, but it is not much.
Okay.
Okay. So you'll be immersed in 7 themed areas. There is the Disney Discovery Reef, Disney Imagination Garden,
Ooh,
San Francisco Street, which is very exciting.
cool.
Big Hero 6, I personally think is underrated.
Hmm.
Marvel Landing. So I guess on this one, we're going to have an integration of a bunch of different stuff too. Big Hero 6 is Marvel, but it's not MCU.
Very weird.
So, and it's animated. Yeah, it's got its own thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I can imagine what a San Francisco area would look like, and I'm very excited
Would
about
be
it.
very cool.
Yeah, there's Toy Story Place, Town Square, and Wayfinder Bay. So those things are so broad.
Wayfinder Bay has got to be Moana themed.
Yes.
Interesting. And Town Square sounds to me like
Lady and the Tramp.
yeah.
Is that what you're gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say like Main Street,
Maybe.
but
Maybe
like
Walt.
that's basically the same.
Yeah,
You know,
it could be like
same vibe.
history. Yeah. Like Walt's history, like 1923. You know what I
That'd be
mean?
cool.
This will also feature other firsts for Disney Cruise Lines, including experiences especially creative for Southeast Asia, because this is always going to be a boat that sails out of Asia. So I don't really know what that means.
Maybe that means like different dining and entertainment than we're used to.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, and okay. I'm down to obviously I can't wait to try it. This is also this is not a Wish class ship. So I think it's that really big one.
Really?
Oh, you don't think so? Gosh, maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. I really don't know very much about the Singapore ship.
Okay. Actually, can you look it up, and I'm going to talk about the new private island that we've got.
Go ahead.
So Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point is Disney's new private island that we just we didn't buy it, releasing it. So here's the way that this is different from Castaway, Key, or Cay. I've actually heard it both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Castaway, I'm just gonna go with one, and if somebody wants to give me a hard time and tell me I'm pronouncing it wrong, that's fine. Please tell me.
Mhm.
Um, Castaway Key is like Disney's actual own private island where nobody else lives. Like nobody lives there. It's like an island that is just that's the only thing it is a Disney island.
Mhm.
And this new one is not. It's an inhabited island that has over 10,000 residents.
Really?
And yes, and so they are leasing like a portion of it,
Yeah.
which is interesting. You don't, from what I can understand, you're not going to see, any of the other people there. The people that live there, these 10,000 people that live there, they're not like allowed to come hang out on this beach. This is a private beach. It's probably, gated or whatever.
Yeah.
But people have reported seeing like small boats that have come around and docked, and so from a security standpoint, not quite as good, I would say. You know what I mean? The other thing that people are talking about, and if you haven't seen this, you've got to Google it. The pier to get from the boat to the island is wildly long. Have you seen it?
Really?
It's
No.
crazy. So here, it's about a half mile.
Wow.
Yeah. And uncovered.
Mm.
So
Spooky.
this open trestle pier extends, it says less than half a mile, west into deeper water. So there are options, I guess, because of the way that the level, the levels of the ocean and stuff around there are, is they would either have to have tendered everybody there, or they could build this wildly long um, pier. So that's what they opted to do. I'm hoping that if they haven't already, they're going to add some cover, because I mean, being sunburned before you even get on the island is kind of crazy. Um, somebody, the first person that I saw mention this on Instagram was one of the first people to go there, and she said when we arrived, people were audibly gasping, looking out their window because it is so wild. Yeah, so that's that. As far as theming goes for Lookout K, it's got a Junkanoo theme to it. So
Okay.
obviously brightly colored. That's kind of the same kind of situation as Castaway, except for the colors are a little bit more bold, I would say. And they've got a area called Goombay Cultural Center, and there you can learn how to make a Junkanoo headpiece. Then you can dance during Rush, a Junkanoo celebration, where local Junkanoo performers dance and play music. And then at the end, Mickey and Minnie come out. Their outfits are obviously different than the ones on Castaway. They're more of this Junkanoo style. So those are like the little things I wanted to report on about the new private island.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I'm a little less excited about it after hearing this stuff.
Well, I mean, obviously time will tell with guest experience and how
Mm-hmm.
they find it. I feel like in the same way that Orlando does not creep into Walt Disney
It's a
World,
good point.
they might have a good system for
I don't
securing
think they would have bought it if they
the
did.
part of the
Now that you
island,
mention it, yeah.
you know, that
Mhm.
you're going to be on.
Yeah.
I bet in the experience you would never even know that there was life outside of the Disney portion
Yeah,
of
okay.
the island.
Yeah. I'm sure you're right.
And I hope that's the case.
Yes.
And if they do have issues with anything else, it will be massive
Right.
press.
Right.
You know?
And people were worried about at first with this extremely long pier. People with
crazy.
the
any length kind of the pier is
yes.
crazy.
Oh my gosh, it is crazy. People were worried about anybody having mobility issues and stuff like that. But Disney is taking care of those people. So you know Disney.
Right.
They've got a plan.
Right.
So
yeah, they have to.
The thing I hope that they remedy is the lack of shade. That was at least there last time I looked.
Yeah. So,
it's kind of like an Epcot World Showcase situation where we're like, oh my gosh, please give us shade.
Anything. All right. To answer a previous question, the Disney Adventure is more than twice the size of some of the other ships, and
Yeah.
about 30% larger than the Disney Wish, which is Disney's current biggest ship, which can accommodate 4,000 passengers, while this one can accommodate 6,700 passengers.
It's so interesting to me that they bought this monster ship, right? The, during COVID, when it was already in the process of being built, like I
Hmm.
really, and so they got a great deal on it because
Right.
the people who were having it built went bankrupt or whatever, and Disney got this fantastic deal on it, and it was going to be the biggest cruise ship in the world. It still might be when it's done. I don't know.
Hmm.
Um,
In competition with things like Symphony of the Seas, is that what it's called?
No, they're like the newer ones from Royal or like the Icon.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
Icon of the
yeah.
Seas.
But it's interesting to me that they decided to have this be their first ship sailing out of Asia. Like they know that it's going to do that well over there? It's interesting.
Well, they're getting a heck of a deal, so why not? Maybe
Yeah.
that's their, it can't be that,
I I
loosey
was
goosey, but
I was really psyched to sail on this with it being like the biggest ship that there ever was.
yeah.
But yeah, they decided to put it in Asia, and it's just interesting. They didn't really run a test run over there.
Yeah, I don't know. They
We'll
must
just
have done some really excellent market research.
I yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. Knowing Disney, I don't think they would make the investment without being sure that they can
Well,
make some
I'm
money.
very jealous. I really
Hey, never say never.
yeah, I
Uh,
really wanted it that,
you wanted
huge.
that boat for
Well,
you.
because huge.
Yeah. Well, if you ever find
Think of all
yourself
the
in Singapore.
Disney spaces. I know. I think that it would make sense to combine going on this cruise with doing something else in Asia, like one of the Disneys. I don't know. They're not right next to each other. And that's
No.
the other thing that's crazy. There's no Disney park in Singapore. So it's interesting to me because I think a lot of people would think, well, I'm spending $1,500 per person for a flight over to Asia. Why don't we also do a whole day of flying? You know what I mean? Why don't we also do Tokyo Disney while we're over there or Shanghai Disney while we're over there? But they're actually not close.
No. You could do Universal Studios Singapore then, which
Yes.
is
Interesting. Okay. I didn't even, yeah.
yes, it is well rated and quite elaborate for a Universal park, so maybe people would enjoy that.
Yeah. And you can take a plane and it would be obviously cheaper and I'm going to say smaller, but you know what I mean,
Hmm.
from Singapore to one of the cities that has an Asia Disney. So it is doable. If you're like, well, I'm already spending all this money and an entire day to get over here, let's knock out a couple things
Right.
at once.
Yeah. No
I
one.
understand that, you know, because I'm thinking that.
Yeah, and that the extend your vacation
Right.
feature of Disney cruise planning is quite popular. People love to like spend a day where they're sailing from or when they
Yes,
get
right.
back, and
Right.
you know.
And when we did the Disney Wonder out of California, which sailed out of San Diego, we also went and did Disneyland, California for a day, which it's like it's maybe 2 hours of a drive. It might be less than that, but
Not too bad.
mhm.
And did you also do the Walt Disney Family Museum or
Yes,
the
but
archives?
that's in San Francisco. We did a thing where we did all these things.
Yeah, it's just I'm just talking California, baby, because
Yeah,
that's I see what you mean. The temptation to knock out stuff
exactly,
while you're there,
exactly, because it took you so long to get there.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's a
mean?
big commitment of travel.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were hoping to do the train to all these different places, but they went on strike.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah,
All right. That's all I've got for the
yeah,
Disney Destiny. Do
yeah.
you have anything else that you wanted to slide in
Just that
there?
I'm crazy excited that Disney Cruise Line is making such like
I know.
big leaps and bounds forward.
Are we gonna get a new ship every year now?
Yeah, who knows?
How many boats can fit in the ocean?
Well, think about how many Royal has.
No, I know it's
And
crazy.
Royal comes out with a new one like every year, it feels like.
Right. I'm also excited to see when we'll start getting major renovations of these.
Yeah.
How long until the original fleet starts to get modifications either physically or they swap out. some old experiences for these new elaborate dining experiences. It feels like only a matter of time
Yeah,
before
that
we start getting those kinds of
on the
announcements.
older ones, they've done refurbishments that have
Hmm.
been really well received, and that's amazing. I have it on Royal Caribbean ships. Sometimes they will actually slice the ship down the middle and add a whole section into the middle.
Ooh,
All right, isn't that crazy?
yeah.
And then weld it into place. So they could actually take these older boats and make them bigger, and
Ooh.
add more space. So that's an interesting thing that could happen. We could see happen. Although Royal, I think at this point they don't even have any ships that as old as like the Disney Magic, which is very interesting. But I hear that for people that are from people that have sailed their old Royals' oldest ships,
Hmm.
you don't hear as good of things. You hear about them showing their wear, where like I went on the Disney Magic, which is their oldest ship, and I was never thinking, oh, this is an old dated ship. It's amazing. They do such a Disney fantastic job of renovating.
The cruise lines have such a superior standard for quality.
Yes.
I love that about them.
Yes.
And this new one looks like it's going to be a high quality edition as well. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't wait to see people start to book this and start to report on the experience that they're having. If
Yes.
you would ever like to book this, make sure you book with Morgan, Neverland Navigation Co. She's a great travel agent, and she'll get you right on board. Before we say goodbye, I did want to quickly say thank you so much for watching. If you would like to join us on social media, we would love to have you on our accounts over there as well on Instagram and TikTok at Neverland Navco. All things Disney, trivia and shopping and dining. We would love to see you guys not only here on the show, but also interact with you over there as well.
Yeah. We also have an Etsy shop called Neverland Navigation on Etsy where we do these custom shirts. Um, really, instead of shopping around the shirts that I've got posted, it's much easier if you just send me a message and tell me like what your favorite attraction or show is, and I will show you some custom options. I especially love doing like retired rides. I just want to throw
Ooh.
that out there. I love it when somebody messages me and says, "Do you have any Maelstrom designs?" Oh yes, I do.
Oh yes, let the Neverland Navigation Etsy shop style you into a beautiful um, extinct attraction poster T-shirt.
Yeah,
That's like the most fun.
yeah,
All right. So that's that for the Disney Destiny. I feel like it'll only be a matter of time before we report on more Disney Cruise Line news. So if
yeah.
you're a cruise line fan, then we look forward to seeing you guys in the next cruise line episode.
Absolutely.
Well, we've got to catch our boat, and we don't want to be late because the pier is really, really long. So we have to start now. So we'll see you on our
On our
next
next
adventure.
adventure.
Bye.
Bye.